What's going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're back again for another rendition of Smackdown Live Review. And it was also for January 30th, 2018, the last Smackdown of January. Man, this month has gone by, and we will have NXT, of course, tomorrow, finishing up January in style, in my opinion. I can't wait for that. But tonight we saw Nakamura come out and give the crowd his state of the WWE address after winning the Royal Rumble, stating what he expects at the Royal Rumble. We get Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the cracks between them, the cracks just starting to form. How long will this last? I don't know. We will definitely have to see what goes on next week. We'll get to that later. By the way, it's Becky Lynch's birthday, so happy birthday to the last kicker herself. She was on the Mixed Match Challenge tonight. I don't watch it, but I'm sure her and Sami Zayn had a nice little match against Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman. Smackdown has implemented a new ranking system. This is news and something that I don't get why they're doing it. But I guess WWE wants to make SmackDown the experimental show. So we are going to have each week, or I don't know how they're going to do this. Fans are, not fans. I wish it was the fans. If it was us, this would be a totally different. This would be interesting to see how they went with this. But you know they're not going to let us pick, because if they did even say it was for the fans, they would probably have it cut up and they would be for the fans, but the fans' votes wouldn't really matter because they would fudge them as much as they want to give people that they want the top ranking. So basically, it boils down to this: everyone gets to vote who's a superstar. There's criteria: locker room leadership, best athletic, and a couple other things. Caveats are Shane and Daniel Bryan don't vote, and the superstars cannot vote for themselves. So will this work? I don't know. I remember Impact Wrestling TNA did a ranking system themselves back in the day, where the number one person on the ranking system got to be number one contender. That lasted about 2 months before they did the whole Immortal storyline, where Abyss, who was the number one contender, pretty much just went batshit crazy and destroyed all of Impact Wrestling. We saw AJ Styles pretty much come out, and him and Nakamura were put in a match with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and those two just complaining all day about them getting screwed out of the WWE Championship, which in hindsight they really were, because the tag did not happen at the pay-per-view. They did lobby to Daniel Bryan. You'll get his words on them and what will happen next week between those two. And you could definitely see that the rifts between these two, which I figured after they tied Dillinger beatdown onto Royal Rumble, that the rift between these two was going to start forming, and it kind of, in my opinion, started at the Royal Rumble when Kevin Owens is like, I got this, and Sami Zayn is like, nope, I got this, we're just going to stick back here and I got this. So that they do make a mention of that between them two later in the show. Not Absolution, I mean, I mix the Riot Squad and Absolution up all the time because they're about the same thing as it is. Riot Squad beat down Charlotte Flair, sending the message to her, basically showing finally people realizing that the title should be the most important thing, and these three beat her down, and Charlotte does not get saved, which I found surprising. Gable and Benjamin, after losing their 2 out of 3 falls match in a clean sweep, which in my opinion, I think they lost that, but it wasn't supposed to be a 2-0. No word on if that was a botch or not, but it felt like it was. They take their frustration out on the Fashion Files and Breezango, which I thought we were done with the Fashion Files on SmackDown, but apparently, let's just put the Fashion Files on one more time and see what happens between them and Gable and Benjamin. This is the first SmackDown on the road to WrestleMania after the Royal Rumble. We did have a fatal 4-way to decide who is going to face Bobby Roode next week for the United States Champion, and I wanted the guy to win. I was expecting them to have, it was Jinder Mahal, Zack Ryder, Kofi Kingston, and Rusev fatal 4-way. Figured they were going to go with Jinder Mahal, but I was like, I like who they went with, but I don't know if they're going to actually have him beat Bobby Roode. I'll get to that when the match happens. But the show started out with Shinsuke Nakamura, which they did say he was going to start the show. Get faster internet. Nakamura did start the show. Of course, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn came out and confronted Shinsuke Nakamura, and they're completely complaining about the match at Royal Rumble being they got screwed over, which in hindsight they really did. And you know how Shane McMahon is. Here's Nakamura.
Sami Zayn, knee to the face. John Cena, knee to the face.
I don't remember him getting a knee to the face of Sami Zayn, but it is what it is.
Knee to face. At WrestleMania, AJ Styles. Knee. Face. New WWE Champion.
Points to the sign like everyone else does. All I gotta say for WWE, kudos to them for giving us Styles Nakamura. One, do not, under any circumstances, take the title off of AJ Styles before WrestleMania. I can feel WWE and Vince McMahon going in the back and just be like, well, we're gonna change plans because I don't feel this star power between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. We're gonna have Nakamura put his title shot on the line and he's gonna lose it to this person, and it's gonna be Styles versus John Cena, or Styles versus somebody at WrestleMania, and that's that. No, under any circumstances do I want to see John Cena get anywhere close to being like, well, if Shinsuke Nakamura is the man, he should put his title shot on the line. I know Nakamura is probably not going to have a major match at Fastlane, but I do not, under any circumstances, want to see Styles lose the title or Nakamura be goaded into putting his title shot on the line, because this hasn't happened all the time, but there's been times where somebody wins the Royal Rumble and they put the title ship on the line, or wins a number one contendership match or something like that, and they put it on the line and they end up losing it. I do not want to see WWE doing that. They better stick to Styles versus Nakamura at WrestleMania. You already have WrestleMania sold out on that. And it better headline the show. Put the Universal Championship on third or fourth or whatever, but this better be the thing that closes the show. If you have any brains in your head left, Vince, I know you're so busy about the XFL, and yes, I'm excited to see that come back just to see what happens, but you better put Styles Nakamura 30 minutes on the end of WrestleMania. Anything else they do is unacceptable. Now, Owens, of course, and Sami Zayn come out and they interrupt Nakamura's celebration. Complaining about last Sunday.
2 nights ago, we were screwed out of our title. Yep! We were once again victims of the vendetta machine constructed by Shane McMahon, hell-bent on holding us down. The referee has one job. You've got one job. Protect the integrity of the match at all costs. Yep.
It's funny when
pinned the wrong man. That's right, and that right there is why we have every right and another opportunity for the WWE title. So Shinsuke, buddy, at WrestleMania, it won't be AJ Styles you face. It's going to be us. Yep. 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 Yep.
AJ Styles a winner. You are losers.
There will.
And of course, they didn't seem too happy about that, and they were starting to do the nice surround him on both sides so we can attack him. AJ Styles music hits like that, and AJ Styles comes out to pretty much even the odds and make this a match for later tonight. But you know, of course, he doesn't have power to do that, so we'll get to that in a second. But here's AJ Styles.
Be a dream match. It will happen in New Orleans on the grandest stage of them all. And it will be between me and Shinsuke Nakamura. But right here, right now, in Philly, on Smackdown Live, the house that AJ Styles built. Shinsuke, I say we turn this dream match into a dream team and take on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn right here tonight.
Coming on with the Sami Zayn back out of the ring.
You really want this match, huh?
Nope.
And of course, they got out of the ring. They left. They got back by the ramp. They talk for a little bit. Sami Zayn starts saying, "Okay, you want this match?" And then they come up and say, "Nope." And then AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura come over and just drill them off the apron, setting up for them after the match. Give me 1 second here. Then, of course, we're in the back with them, and they are talking and complaining to Daniel Bryan.
Daniel, we need to talk. We really need to talk.
Just the two people I wanted to see. Listen, AJ Styles does not have the power to make matches.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's right.
But I do. And so tonight, the two of you will face AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Come on, man. This is almost as bad as the Royal Rumble when the referee made the single biggest blown call in WWE history.
Listen, the referee's decision is final.
Oh my God! Oh, thanks so much for enlightening us.
Hey, the referee made a mistake. I watched it from a million different angles, and he thought that you tagged Kevin. It was too close to call.
A mistake? A mistake is setting your alarm for 7 p.m. instead of 7 a.m. This wasn't a mistake. This was for the WWE title. This was history altering. This was a life-changing catastrophe. That's what it was, not a mistake. Come on, Daniel. Yep. Listen, you got to make this right, okay? Don't let Shane McMahon push us to the back of the line. You got to make this right. We deserve another opportunity at the WWE title. We deserve better. You know that. We deserve it.
Calm down, calm down.
I can't calm down.
Listen, I agree with you.
You do.
Yeah. And so you guys are going to get another opportunity at the WWE Championship. And next
What did I
week-
tell you? No way. He's the man.
Sami Zayn goes over and hugs Daniel Bryan, which, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
he's not going to like what he
Next
says
week,
soon.
I have planned this huge main event. And the winner of that match is going to face AJ Styles at Fastlane for the WWE Championship. It's going to be Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens knows exactly what's going to happen already before he even says anything. Sami Zayn, I guess, doesn't realize it, but Kevin Owens already knows it.
Isn't that awesome, guys?
And they do not look happy at all. So, next week we have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens #1 contendership for the WWE Championship, which going to be interesting how they do that match with and see what's going to be happening between these two. Yes, they do have a bit of a showing, like later in the night, that definitely looks like the tension between them two is starting to build, which I cannot wait to see how they go with this and what's going to be the switch that turns Kevin Owens on Sami Zayn. And since Kevin Owens, pretty much, I think Kevin Owens will probably win that match next week. Maybe Kevin Owens actually gets rolled up. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have Kevin Owens snap on Sami Zayn, and he's going to turn on him next week, especially with what happens later in the show. First match tonight, Kofi Kingston versus Jinder Mahal versus Zack Ryder versus Rusev, U.S. title #1 contendership. Rusev Day is still hot and over as can be. We are in Philly, of course, so the fact that there's been so much good wrestling and so much high intensity when it comes to like emotions this week, I'm surprised Philadelphia has any energy left. Maybe they took yesterday, like Monday Night Raw, off because the crowd was mostly dead yesterday. Maybe they took that off and got the energy for today because the crowd seemed a little bit more in it today than they did last night for Monday Night Raw. So good on you, Philly. They did announce that the U.S. title match will be next week. Everyone outside gets thrown out, like, you know, Biggie, Kofi King, Biggie, Xavier Woods, Samir and Aiden English were all outside the ring. Kofi Kingston does a trust fall to Jinder Mahal and Zack Ryder. Typical Kofi Kingston. Rusev started, jumping around, getting ready to do it himself. He goes and bounces off the one end. Samir, I believe it's Samir. Yeah, Samir grabs his arm, grabs the legs, and prevents him from doing anything. Aiden English is not happy about that. Goes over and has an argument with him. Biggie and Xavier come over and are just telling him to hit him. He actually shoves him into both the New Day members, knocking the plate of pancakes out of Biggie's hand. Can we please get rid of the pancakes? I don't get the whole pancake shtick, and I'm not liking it at all. So can we please get rid of the pancakes? Of course, the referee looks at them while they're arguing, tells all four of them just to get out of here. So that was the end of all them. Pretty good back and forth match. We almost got a stackalade, as Corey Graves like to call it. Match ends when Kofi goes for another SOS after he hit one on Jinder Mahal earlier on, and Zack Ryder, I believe, too, into an accolade, and Rusev makes Kofi tap out, and your number one contender is Rusev. What will happen next week? Will we see Rusev Day become the United States Champion, or will Rusev Day be squashed by the Glorious One? I do not know at all. We will find out next week. That should be a pretty good match if they're given the time. So we have to work forward to that. Then we had, I thought we were done with these. I thought we didn't have any more. The Fashion Files. The Fashion Files were brought back to SmackDown Live, and Byron Saxton, for some reason, just looked oh so happy. They were being asked fan questions when some two disgruntled superstars come in.
Oh, that's us. Look at that. That's us. Nice. Hey, Cinch, how we doing on those Twitter questions?
They keep coming in. They just don't stop.
Yeah.
Ooh, Breeze, great question. What kind of conditioner do you use for your hair?
That is a great question.
Fandango. What's your favorite thing about Victor? Pass.
Nice answer.
Hey, can we just get done with these already?
Coconut oil or...
What is this? Wait. Fashion Files is still a thing?
What you clowns are doing to our tag division, it's embarrassing.
Okay? Somebody speaks the freaking truth. Thank you, Chad Gable, on that one.
Twice?
Look, enough with your little Twitter stuff, guys. We have a question for you.
Yeah. Do you think you can beat Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable tonight?
Yeah. Shush! The answer is no.
Flip the table.
All right.
Couple expensive laptops on there, I'll tell you what. So yes, they had a match later in the night. Nothing really to sneeze at. Can we please end the Fashion Files already? To me, they weren't even funny when they first started. I was not a fan of the Fashion Files. This shtick, this gimmick should have been over by SummerSlam. It all pointed to like they were going to finish it at SummerSlam last year. It's been going on for far too long. Enough of it, WWE. Enough. Give us something with these guys that we actually want to freaking care about. I do not want to, period, see any more Fashion Files. I don't watch them on WWE Network, on WWE's YouTube page, or WWE.com. Get rid of it. Put Connor and Victor and the Ascension and Breezango in matches. Yes, Chad Gable said the truth. They are an embarrassment to the tag team division. We have the Usos, the New Day, Rusev Day when they tag. We have the Bludgeon Brothers. And you're going to give us these two tag teams acting like a bunch of goofballs? I'm okay with comedy and wrestling every once in a while, but this is just asinine and just needs to be over with. I am tired of the Fashion Files. You should be tired of the Fashion Files too. They are just borderline on stupidity now, and I am just over it. Also, I want to know what's up with these iPhone camera promos. Are they that much in debt that they have to go? They can't use they don't have enough cameras to actually do interviews anymore. They have to use a camera to do interviews because they are just downright stupid and annoying, and just they don't need to be doing. They shouldn't be using those to promote a match or a superstar or something. And I did forget to mention something when Shinsuke Nakamura was coming down to the ring, and they did this something with the Usos promo here in a minute. Nakamura comes to the ring, he does his little, he gets to the rope, does his arm gesture, and then the word Rockstar comes across the ring. I'm like, are they gonna have Rockstar Spud come out here? But no, it's like, what is this new graphics and stuff? This is just stupid. They, like, when you have one of those videos comes up, it's like John Cena, or the Usos, or any of the women they did a couple weeks ago. Are they really this? They have the money to do new graphics, but they don't have the money to have new camera, like to have camera equipment. Then some of the camera equipment get repoed because these things are just stupid as can be. Then the Usos come out. Usos said this is the city of brotherly love. Show some love to your tag team, Smackdown tag team champions, the Usos. They said, we told you we got about to get real silly up here in Philly. We won back to back. We swept right through Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. Then they go down on a little trip down memory lane of all the tag teams they put down on lockdown. While this was happening, when they named the tag team, a jail door would come in, like an animated jail door would come up and swing on the screen, looking absolutely ridiculous. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. They named the American Alpha Lockdown, American Alpha 2 Lockdown, New Day Lockdown, Breezango, as well as even the Bar. They're not saying they're the best tag team, but they are the best tag team. Their struggles are each other's struggles. There's nothing that no one else can, nobody, not even brothers could beat them. They are the best tag team. They are by far the best tag team in WWE right now. Monday Night Raw's tag team division is just awful. There's nothing there. SmackDown has an okay tag team division. Get Breezango and the Ascension doing something other than the stupid comedy shtick, and then we'll be fine with the tag teams. Rusev Day, if Rusev doesn't win the U.S. title, get them back into tag teams. We need tag teams. Tag teams, like wrestling, is some of the best wrestling out there. But, yes. They finish up their promo, which I can't do it no justice, and it's not on the WWE's YouTube page. And so, they come out. They finish their promo, and they get ready to leave the ring when the Bludgeon Brothers, music hits, and they make their way to the ring. They have a match tonight against a bunch of jobbers, which is typical of WWE to have them still doing a jobber run. While they're coming down to the ring, the Usos are a little bit off to the side of the ramp, just watching the Bludgeon Brothers come down. The Bludgeon Brothers make it to where they would put their hammers down, they take their hood or mask off and jackets off, and just enter the ring. They pay no attention to the Usos. They don't care about the Usos. That interaction will come at a due time. I would like to see the Bludgeon Brothers actually have a match that's competitive. No more of these squash matches. This is just like Braun Strowman. This is just like Nia Jax. This is just like anybody they want to put over as a big, huge force. You overdo it. They squashed the Ascension. They squashed the Breezango. They should be starting to face like the New Day, but the New Day, they have a tough task. Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable, they have a tough match. The Usos and non-tag team, they have a non-title match. They have a tough match. Time for the Bludgeon Brothers to do something other than facing jobbers. I know we already can see how powerful and dominating they are, but they need to stop. They really need to stop. Pretty much they placed a bunch of jobbers, never got the names, and I honestly didn't care. Same as usual, they destroyed both teams. Hit the what is that called? Oh crap, what is that called? The one power bomb that they do, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, to the one, and then they did the double crucifix to the other one for the 3 count. That's typical Bludgeon Brothers. They did talk about the 10 votes, like the top 10 list, which I'm gonna be interested to see how they do the top 10 list. Of course, Daniel Bryan did it with one of the video things, which you were just sitting in your office with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn earlier. You mean you couldn't just make that announcement in your same office? You had to actually sit there with your iPhone to make this announcement? Is this like something that you just can't do? Like, seriously, are they running out of equipment money, so they have to repo some of the repo man come and get some of their equipment, because they seem to be running out of equipment if they're just using cell phones for promos now. What are we gonna have next? Cell phones for matches? We're gonna see matches done while someone holds a cell phone up on a lifeguard chair. We're gonna watch a match through a cell phone. Wouldn't put it past WWE, mind you. After that, they shoot right to Shane McMahon talking on the phone about the Rumble being crazy and Asuka and Shinsuke Nakamura winning the respective Rumbles. Ty Dillinger walks in and says, "Usually I would be all over a list of 10, but that's not why I'm here." He wants to get a match between Sami Zayn or himself and Kevin Owens. But before he could say anything else, Baron Corbin comes in complaining about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn getting a title match. Again, or an opportunity at a title match. Shane McMahon says he'll talk to Daniel Bryan about that, but tonight you have nothing really to complain about. You had your chance and you lost it. Ty Dillinger's still there. He interrupts them, and Baron Corbin says, "What? You're still here?" Ty Dillinger, with the burn of the night, says, "Yes, unlike your Money in the Bank briefcase," which got the crowd going, "Whoa!" And Baron Corbin was not happy. Shane McMahon makes a match, Ty Dillinger versus Baron Corbin, for a little bit later in the night. So, no interaction between Daniel Bryan or Shane McMahon tonight. I mean, last week we did have Daniel Bryan's ability being questioned by Shane McMahon, and they did absolutely almost nothing between these two. Just a little jab by Shane McMahon, saying he's gonna he'll talk to Daniel Bryan about it later, and that those two shouldn't get a title match. Which, quite honestly, they should get an opportunity, because they did not, because the legal man wasn't pinned in that 2-on-1 handicap match. So, will that be addressed next week? Will the implosion of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens happen? We will find out next week, but we are not done here. Out comes Charlotte, who talks about the Women's Royal Rumble and how she, for the first time, did not want to be champion because she wanted to be in the Royal Rumble to win it, to see if she could go toe-to-toe with the legends like Trish, Lita, Kelly, which, that's not much, Molly Holly, and Michelle McCool, to name a few. She gets interrupted by the Riot Squad. They pretty much tell her, Ruby Riott calls her a carbon copy of her father, which she is. Anybody who thinks otherwise, you are fooling yourself. She is, to a T, the female version of Ric Flair when it comes to gimmick. In-ring ability, I wouldn't say as much, but she is still pretty good. Ruby Riott says that she is a one-of-a-kind character. How I look, how I talk, and how I act. I don't think so, Ruby. I'm pretty sure I've seen traces of you in other characters. I can't think of any off the top of my head at this time, but I'm pretty sure I've seen characters like yours, the punk rock characters, and it might be because your accent might be one thing, but I'm pretty sure I've seen punk rock characters in WWE. Shannon Moore comes to mind when he was the Reject. Just saying. Punk rock character. I'm pretty sure the Reject Shannon Moore was about a female version of the gimmick that you're trying to be right now. Just throwing that out there. They end up going to attack her after she woos. She actually in jeans, boots, a tank top, and a jacket, and with her WWE Women's Championship around her waist still, she actually fends them off. So I'm like, the Riot Squad right now are looking a little weak from that beatdown, from that little attack try. Of course, she takes the title off, takes her jacket off, and wants them to come in. Shield style, they all come in and beat her down. No help for Charlotte tonight. She did get beat down and then got hit with the Riot kick, which is what they call her jumping kick. But Riot kicked Charlotte, knocking her out. And good on WWE for having a beatdown of the women's champion, and no help at all. No Becky, no Naomi, no anybody else. All of a sudden, the Riot Squad comes out of the ring. All of a sudden, you hear F-A-B-U-L-O-U-S. Carmella running to the ring with a referee. The referee's in the ring. She's sitting there nudging Charlotte with her foot like you would if an animal's dead or something. Hands her briefcase to the referee. Charlotte, trying to get back up, while the referee's, you know, trying to explain to, which this was the slowest I think a referee has gone trying to get Money in the Bank cash in. Usually it feels like it's just instant. This one, he's just sitting there talking as slow as he can. The reason for that is Charlotte was behind him, getting up slowly. Carmella goes to kick Charlotte. She moves out of the way, and Carmella ends up kicking the referee out of the ring, botching yet again another Money in the Bank briefcase. This year's Money in the Banks have been just awful. Baron Corbin looked like a buffoon when he won it, and then ended up getting John Cena distracted before SummerSlam, losing his briefcase and not winning the WWE Championship. And now Carmella, I don't even know what they're gonna do with Carmella. She's good on the mic. I will give her that. She is good on the mic. Not really a good person not really good in the ring. She's okay. Championship material, not so much. So Charlotte's back in the corner while she's sitting there yelling outside the ring to get back in here. She's like yelling in a high-pitched voice to come on, what are you doing? Get in here. The referee, of course, never gets back up. Eventually, she turns around and sees that Charlotte is all sound, body, and mind up now. So what does she do? She jumps out of the ring, grabs her briefcase, and she bails. That was that. So I don't know what they're gonna do with Carmella, but the Money in the Bank briefcase, the Money in the Bank itself has taken such a horrible hit this year because half the time when Edge was the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, you knew it from day one to the day he cashed it in. He shoved that in everybody's face. He was always making sure you knew that he was the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. That was the first Money in the Bank. Now you have Carmella, and it's like half the time you forget that she's even it's like a prop. Like when Edge had it, and guys after him from RVD to John Cena himself to Kennedy before he got injured to others like CM Punk both times and Jack Swagger. I think Jack Swagger took a little hit for that, but she's just like she's gone. I mean, when Baron Corbin was the men's Money in the Bank briefcase winner, he held that thing up and made you know that he had this briefcase. Yes, he looked like an idiot when he tried to cash in. When he cashed in and became the only third person, I should say now, to not win the WWE Championship or a championship at all. I think Carmella is going to end up cashing in, and she's going to end up losing her Money in the Bank briefcase. Why? Like the teasing's fine if you do it right, but this time around, it almost makes me not want to see a Money in the Bank briefcase won again. I don't want to see they're just really taking everything out of the Money in the Bank briefcase, just with how poorly they booked Baron Corbin and how poorly Carmella is being booked as the first ever women's Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Just, I don't know. In the back, we had Styles and Nakamura. Styles comes in and says, I guess you don't want to talk game plan or anything, and Nakamura says, I will beat you at WrestleMania. Plain out says, I will beat you at WrestleMania. AJ Styles is like, what? What? We have a match tonight, don't you know? And then he says, again, I will beat you at WrestleMania. Styles is like, you're just messing with me, aren't you? Just please tell me you're messing with me. Nakamura starts to say it again, I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. And then he's like, I'm just messing with you. We're going to be fine. Just listen to me. And walks away. And Styles is like, just listen to you. Huh. Then they go back, they switch over to Renee Young with Carmella. She asks Carmella about how, not what you wanted to expect. And Carmella says to Renee Young, that went exactly how I expected, because I had the Money in the Bank briefcase still. I am the most dangerous woman for Charlotte to look out for, because at any time, I can become the women's champion by cashing this in at moment's notice. Corey Graves said it best. This was probably the best chance that she will be able to cash in. Charlotte was laid out, left for dead, and you come out, you kick the referee's head in the butt, knocking him out of the ring. So the best chance that she had to win the women's championship went up in smoke like that. Ty Dillinger versus Baron Corbin. Ty Dillinger came out hot and heavy in this match in the beginning. He just took it to Baron Corbin, but all for naught, because he does lose this match with a end of days. He did have a good bit of fight into this match, but in the end, bicycle kick by Ty, who takes control, form to the back of Ty, then a chokeslam backbreaker by Corbin, and then an end of days for the 3 counts. In the back, Owens and Zayn are sitting there getting prepared for the tag team match. Kevin Owens looks just, Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn looked like he looked like he saw a ghost. Like, he was just so disturbed about what's going to happen next week between these two, and the fact that they got to face each other one-on-one, the winner going on to face AJ Styles at Fastlane. So that 5, which we knew was already going to be bogus probably, the 5-way between AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Randy Orton, and of course Shinsuke Nakamura is not going to happen. So they start subtly, taking nice little jabs at each other about, how all their past failures, how they were like, well, at least one of us is going to be WWE, get a shot at WWE Championship next at Fastlane. So, there's that. Then you had them just be like, oh, Sami Zayn, one of us is going to make them, one of us is going to win and one of us is going to fail. Unlike tonight, in which we have each other's back. Kevin Owens is like, well, you failed at the Royal Rumble. You failed, Sami Zayn's, you failed when AJ Styles pinned you. When you failed this or you failed that. Just a bunch of subtles back and forth, showing the cracks between these two that definitely you knew were going to happen eventually. I think they went a little too overboard with it tonight. I think they should have kept it a little bit more for next week. They, instead of the teasing that we got in the locker room should have been all we saw for this. I think they rushed this a little bit too much. Before we get to the main event, they did finally put this up on YouTube, so I will play you the clip of the Usos daring any team to step up and challenge them for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. This is a good promo.
Beat Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. 2 out of 3 falls. 2-0. Back to back. Clean sweep. But it ain't nothing new, because we've been sweeping through this tag division ever since we stepped foot in SmackDown Live. Yeah. Too fat. Oh, y'all don't remember, huh? Oh, no? Well, let's take them down memory lane right quick then, news. Roll call. Let's go. American Alpha. Lock down.
What is with this graphic of a cell door coming on? Seriously, what the heck is this?
High Bros, lock down. Breeze, Dango, lock down. New Day, lock down. Yo. Even Sheamus and Cesaro, they're not even on SmackDown Live, but we put those 2 chumps behind bars, which means lock down. Hey, we've been locking them all down since day 1. Man, check this out. When we talk about this day 1-ish, we're not talking about t-shirts or trying to sell merch. No. We're talking about this lifestyle we represent. Yeah. It represents being real. Yeah. It represents being true. Yeah. It represents being 100. Yeah. And it represents being you. Talk to him, Moose. This day 1 represents the struggle. Just remember this, though. Every single struggle you go through, it'll only make you stronger. That's why every night I choose to go to my struggles with my Oos right here. Hey, you know what, Oos? That right here will make us different from every single tag team in that locker room. And what's that? Because my struggles are your struggles, and your struggle is my struggle. Hey, Oos, we only gonna...
Even when Jay got arrested for DUI, was that part of you guys' struggle together? I would really like to know that one.
Get stronger together, you feel me? Oh, yeah. So it don't matter what part of the era you from. It don't matter if you're part of a club. It don't matter if you're part of a bar, a day, a shield. It don't even matter if you brothers yourself. Hey, Oos, now, I'm not saying we the best tag team, but we the best tag team in the WWE. Hey, for sure, run up and get done up. Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary.
Jimmy and Jay brimming with
The
confidence.
Usos once again showing why they are, if not the best tag team in WWE today, and why they are your SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. I had to have that promo on here just because it is one of the best promos. These guys are two of the best promos in WWE, and since their heel turn in 2016, which is not really heels anymore, that's been Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin since then. They're more of tweeners now. They can play the heel, but they're more of the babyface. But if this is the babyface tag team of the Usos, this is 10 times better than that babyface tag team with the face paint and the Samoan dance that they usually do. But that was by far one of the best things they've done. Then, of course, they also did the Ronda Rousey thing, which I'll talk about that on Saturday, what the plans for Ronda Rousey are, and how I am just a little ticked that they decided to ruin this inaugural first-time moment in the Oscars win for Ronda Rousey, and the fact that it's possibly that she's not even going to be going for a championship at WrestleMania. So the fact that they did that, I'm going to have words with that on Saturday, so I'll get to that there. Then we had Breezango versus Gable and Benjamin. This wasn't even like, they had the whole promo with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and I figured, oh, the match is going to come up next, and I totally forgot about this match between Gable and Benjamin and Breezango. That's how little I care about Breezango. This tag team, it's okay if they want to do a little comedy here and there, but you have them on the shelf for most of the time that I don't even know why they did. But who really cared? It was pretty much a squash for the most part. Match ends with the reverse bulldog powerbomb combo for the 3 count, and your winners are Gable and Benjamin. Will they have a tag team title match again in the near future? I doubt it, especially with the Bludgeon Brothers tease that they did tonight. So Gable and Benjamin are starting from the ground. They had to beat the jobber team of Breezango, who had just been in the Fashion Files and lost in their own comedy for the last umpteen months. Do I care? No. I do not care about Breezango. And Gable and Benjamin are just, they're there now. I thought this was going to be one of those things where after the match they might have cut a promo to try and solidify themselves, and then one or the other turned. Benjamin would have turned on Gable, and we would have seen those two go their separate ways, because they really have nothing else to do right now unless they just want to be fighting their way back up until SummerSlam, or in between WrestleMania and SummerSlam for a tag team title match, which is fine. They don't need to break up tag teams right now as it is, but gonna be interesting to see how that goes. Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I noticed this a lot tonight. It feels like they're running out of money for production too, because almost nobody. Shinsuke Nakamura got an entrance in the beginning of the show. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got theirs, and AJ Styles got his. And I don't think, other than the Bludgeon Brothers, anyone else, and the Usos I should say too, anyone else got not much of an entrance. I mean, Charlotte and the Riot Squad and Carmella made up, but the matches tonight, you had New Day, Kofi Kingston was halfway down the ramp when they came back from commercial break. Everyone else was in the ring. The match between Gable and Benjamin and Breezango was also the same thing, where nobody got an entrance. Same thing with the main event. Are they cutting down on those two? Because that's just silly in my opinion. And Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were bickering from the start. They were arguing of who was going to start this match. Owens and Styles started the match. Zayn tags in early. Nakamura tags in after him. Zayn and Nakamura lock it up. I would like to see them have a chance. I would like to see Sami Zayn when Nakamura wins the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, which he should. I would like to see Sami Zayn as a babyface take on Shinsuke Nakamura at a pay-per-view on his own. No BS, no Kevin Owens, no nothing. Just Nakamura versus Sami Zayn for the championship. Of course, give them about 25 to 30 minutes in a SmackDown pay-per-view main event. Maybe SummerSlam. That would be cool. Give them about 25-30 minutes and let these two try to produce and let these guys do what they want. Don't book it a WWE match. Book it a NXT TakeOver Dallas rematch. You have it right there. Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, SummerSlam, book it. Before we get into more of this match, there was a great promo in a tweet by AJ Styles on Shinsuke Nakamura. It was like 756 days since our first match, 756 days since you beat me, 756 days since I wanted the rematch, and like 756 days something, and then like 69 days because it was done yesterday till WrestleMania. Really cool promo in a tweet, mind you. So I would be careful, Styles, from doing a nice promo like that, because the next thing you know, all promos will be shown on tweets, which I really don't want to see that. Styles tags in, then Zayn takes control. Zayn is in the Mixed Match Challenge tonight, so and takes most of the punishment of this, so I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Owens and Zayn's take over on Nakamura, and Owens is yelling at Zayn to get back in the corner because Shinsuke Nakamura throws him over the ring like he was in the Royal Rumble or something still, and he's over by the ramp, so he's not in the match right now. Owens is literally yelling at him to get back into the corner, and then, he gets knocked out of the ring, and they start arguing, and Zayn just leaves. He's like, you know what, you can deal with this on your own. You're going to talk to me like that? Have the match on your own, and heads up to the ramp. So I thought he was done at this point for the match. Back from break, Owens is in control while Sami Zayn is actually on the ramp watching. AJ does get a couple of combo moves in a forearm smash. Owen hit in the face with a faceplant pop-up faceplant move. I can't remember what they actually call it. Rolls him up as Sami Zayn runs in and lays out Styles. Owens tags in Zayn. Zayn starts beating down on AJ Styles, puts him in a chin lock, and Kevin Owens is on the apron saying, tag me, I want in. Sami Zayn's like, I got this, don't worry, I got this. And Kevin Owens is just yelling at him to tag him in. Eventually he lets go and just tags in Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes in for a bit, hits a senton on Styles, Zayn with a slap tags into Kevin Owens, gets tagged in. He does 1, 2 things, and then he tags back in Kevin Owens again. Sami Zayn gets slapped in the chest, which he didn't like that. Then he slaps Owens. He comes right back in, turns back around, slaps Kevin Owens in the chest, which he's wearing a shirt, so it's not going to be as bad. And Sami Zayn, shirtless and gets hit hard as can be. And the they start arguing. While they're doing this, AJ Styles gets up and runs over and shoves Kevin Owens into Sami Zayn, knocking Sami Zayn off the apron. Rolls up Kevin Owens for a 2 count. Owens gets up and Sami Zayn's like, look, what are you doing? Are you kidding me? He hits the mat and says, you know what? You got this. I'm out of here. Of course, he has a Mixed Match Challenge match not too long after this match. So he leaves and he is gone for the rest of the match. Gustbuster by Owens, then a Vader Bomb for a 2 count. He turns around and nails Nakamura. Pele kick by Styles. Nakamura tags in. Kick to the face, then some kicks to Owens. Owens running knee in the corner, then knees to Owens on the corner. Nakamura tries for a Kinshasa, but Owens bails. And AJ Styles is like, we ain't having this. He's going to try and get out through the crowd. AJ Styles grabs him, throws him back in, and he gets hit with the Kinshasa and the 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and AJ Styles and Nakamura are your winners. So the week 1 of the Road to WrestleMania for SmackDown ends on a high note with Nakamura and of course the typical tag team match, because let's put two players who are going to be fighting at WrestleMania potentially in a match against each other. So yeah, again, and of course after the match, Sami Zayn's in the back watching on a monitor. Renee Young comes up and asks him about that and how this isn't going to end their friendship. It's all about competition next week, and Kevin Owens knows that. He's been champion. He's been at the top. He's been Universal Champion. He's been United States Champion. I'm the one who's been overlooked. Next week, I'm going to beat Kevin Owens, and I will be known as the man who beat Kevin Owens. And at Fastlane, I will be known as the man who beat AJ Styles, and I will be going to WrestleMania as your WWE Champion, and then that's how the show ends. They do flash back out to the ringside area, seeing Nakamura and AJ Styles posing on the ring post towards the WrestleMania sign. AJ Styles with the 2 sweet up, and Nakamura with his pose, pointing at WrestleMania. So, and in no circumstances whatsoever, Vince McMahon, Road Dogg, the belligerent idiot, Kevin Dunn, the beaver tooth Kevin Dunn, or anybody else turn AJ Styles or Shinsuke Nakamura heel. This should be a one-on-one babyface versus babyface match. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If one of these two, after Fastlane, turns heel just to make it a heel babyface dynamic, because Vince McMahon likes to have his heel babyface, even though heel and babyface isn't what it used to be. If that happens, you are making a sad and pathetic mistake. Hopefully we do not see that. But that was the first of what is going to be many, many SmackDowns between now and WrestleMania. It is nice to see that they aren't waiting until after the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view to just throw Fastlane together as we go to WrestleMania, because that's been like par for the course. Every time we've had a pay-per-view for Raw and then SmackDown comes after, SmackDown throws theirs together, and then when Raw has those 2 weeks between Raw and SmackDown, Raw would throw their pay-per-view together at last minute, and it just turns into a clusterfuck. With the fact that they relaxed on the pay-per-views this year, so I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen, which is fine by me. Lot of intrigue to see what's going to happen next week. We do have a #1 contendership for the WWE Championship going on. We do have the U.S. Championship being defended with Rusev versus Bobby Roode. I'm predicting Rusev is going to probably lose the match just because they just put the title on Bobby Roode, and to take the title off of him, I think would be a mistake. I think Kevin Owens will beat Sami Zayn. He'll probably snap. These two will probably argue back and forth the entire match. Maybe it will probably be the main event too. And through the night, we'll have Kevin Owens trying to guilt trip Sami Zayn into making sure that Kevin Owens wins, even though Kevin Owens has been WWE Champion, WWE Universal Champion, and United States Champion, and Sami Zayn has only been an NXT Champion, and that was for 2 months. So maybe we'll see this come to a head this week, which I think is still too early. I mean, if this is going to stretch out to WrestleMania, which I know it is, this is just way too early to even break these guys up. Fastlane, like, the turn between those two should be at Fastlane. I mean, it wouldn't take too long for it. It wouldn't take more than a week to build a feud between these two properly, because there's all the history that these guys have. So it's going to be interesting what happens next week. Other than that, I don't know. Maybe we'll see the top 10 and see who's #1 next week. I do not know. We will have to wait and see. So that is your SmackDown review for this week. I will be back tomorrow for NXT, which came from Philly as well. So the Philadelphia feel of Royal Rumble week is not over till tomorrow, where we will have Roderick Strong versus Tyler Bate, winner going on to face Pete Dunne at a later date, most likely New Orleans. In my opinion, it should be New Orleans. Could be wrong. Nikki Cross versus Lacey Evans, and the TM61 comes back. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that is all about and how the show goes. And I will be here on Saturday for news, rumors, and predictions. I think we got a name locked. I got a name locked down of what I want to call it. I'm just trying to figure out if anyone else uses it, so I'm not, copying off of anybody else. But we will talk about Ronda Rousey and Jeremy Borash making his way to WWE. That will all be discussed and more on news, rumors, and predictions this Saturday. Until then, my name is The Franz. Find me on Twitter at The Franz. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFranz.